Hello and welcome back. It's Tuesday by the time this goes out. What's that? Tuesday is the 7th of September, something like that. And yes, we are continuing our month of organic goodness. People have come up with all sorts of wonderful names for this month. I'm going to wait till the end of the month to sort of give the month its actual name in retrospect, but we've had some amazing ideas from you. So if you have an idea of what you can call a month of organ music, then let me know in the comments below. Now, today's video is going to be a rather quick video. It's going to be a rather sort of interesting, well, I hope interesting. I hope it'll be interesting for you. Certainly interesting for me. And this came as an idea from someone who wrote a comment and said, all these improvisations you do, how do you do it? And well, I've covered this in a couple of topics before, or I've covered this topic in a couple of videos before, sorry, yes. And I thought today what I'd do is actually talk about setting up an organ for something like an improvisation. Now, if you've ever been to a professional organ concert where, you know, the concert ends with the performer performing an improvisation on the theme of, I don't know, The Simpsons or Happy Birthday or, you know, sort of, or some church melody, some hymn melody. That's, you know, that's a sort of fun things that people regularly use to improvise on. And at the same time, they just sort of start playing, and the organ seems to be perfectly set up for them. So that means they've got an idea of what they're going to be doing. So is it really improvisation? Well, yes and no. And that's what I want to look at today. So what I've got here, I've got the organ, I'm using the organ in Alessandria again. This is the Piotr Grabowski sample set from Alessandria in northern Italy. A rather wonderful instrument that I haven't been using all that much of late, but I do love it. And it's great for this kind of music because you can really play around with the colors. And it has an amazing tuba, which means you can have a lot of fun as well. So what I'm going to show you is how I've set the organ up, all the registration. I've set up 15 different registrations, and there's sort of a bit of a sort of theme in there, sort of a bit of a crescendo, yeah, you know what I mean? We're building up to something, that's the idea. And then based on those registrations and the way I've built it up, I'm then going to improvise a piece of music. And this is actually going to be a piece of music improvised for my friend and colleague down in Australia, Mr. James Flores, who has just posted a video of him playing a theatre organ sample set and looking like he was having a great time doing it. Although that's not true, actually. He looked absolutely terrified doing it. And no, there's no need to be terrified of making things up as you go along. So this one is for you, James. And yeah, I'm going to improvise sort of something in a sort of a jazzy, light style on the Alessandria organ once I'm sort of ready to go. Now, I'm going to do this in one take. So I'll be doing this video twice, once in English and then once in German again. So there will be two completely different pieces of music involved. So check that out. Check out the German version, even if only for the piece of music at the end. It'll be completely different to this one. Let's get going. So, like I said, we've got the organ in Alessandria set up. Now, on my registration number 1, I've got a sort of very nice sort of almost, like you could say, sort of almost English style 8-foot. I've got the principal, the saliciono and the flute 8-foot, and they make a very pleasant sort of plain background sound. And you can play around with the swell pedal. See the swell pedal moving up and down now? You can play around with that, so I can have a quiet sound. Or I can open it up and have a fatter, louder sound. Okay, and down in the pedal I've only got the sub bass and the flauto, so that's the like the Bourdon 16 and the 8-foot equivalent, just giving a bit of bass down there. Okay, so that on the third manual is my start for my improvisation. So I don't know, I might start. Four bars. And then off we go with the piece of music there. By the way, I love these pentatonic runs. bit of a cheat going on there. You only need 3 fingers, but anyway, we'll talk about that some other time. Now, that's an accompaniment then for something. So what should it be? Well, this organ has some rather lovely sort of solo sounds, one of which is on the second manual, the cromorno, or the crumhorn, or the, what would you call that in English? No idea. And I've coupled that with the 8-foot flute to make it sound a bit beefier. On its own, it's not the biggest of sounds. Yeah, but with the 8-foot flute together, it sounds a bit fatter. So there's a nice little sort of... yeah, a nice little sound there. And by the way, I love playing thirds. Yeah, which is something you should always be practicing. Bit of technique never goes amiss. So that's how we're going to start the piece of music. Now down on the first manual, I've got nothing set up yet because, well, I don't want that. So there's a start. So how do we move on from there? So I would present my musical theme at that point. Now we need to sort of move on. Now, what I will do then, what I've now got, I've gotten rid of that solo sound and I've set up all 3 manuals coupled together onto the main manual, the great, which is this one. And I've basically got pretty much all the 8-foot sounds on the organ. So all the sounds sounding at one pitch. And that's a nice big sort of fat, brightish sound, but rather cute. Okay, a nice big sound. To make that even bigger, I then add the 8-foot principle on the grate to make it even fatter. So here it is again without, with, and that gives it a much bigger sort of sound. Now, what's coming next? I want to sort of beef the organ up a fair bit, but not completely, that's coming later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close the swell pedal. The next registration has the full swell sound, but without the reeds. Yeah? So with that imminent, I'm sort of bopping along. And then I can move the registration. You can just hear it in the background, and then I open up the swell, giving that big bright sound. To continue that theme, I then add full swell with all the big reedy stuff. Yeah, so that's giving us a sort of nice big sound. So that's just the first 5 registrations. I've gone from a very soft sound, let's go back, very soft sound, with a nice solo on there as well. So after that, we've got a nice 8-foot sound. Yeah. And then building up on that, closing the swell, adding the swell, and then the full swell. So those are our first 5 registrations. Now, obviously, we're sort of building up a piece of music here. We want it to go somewhere. So I'm then taking the swell back down again to the mixture. Yeah. Closing the box again, maybe up to the swell itself. And then continuing a decrescendo, and that would be sort of a nice end and start and end to a part of a piece of music. Now, I've then reduced the organ to 8 and 4-foot flutes and 2 manuals. And I can play around with the swell pedal there, or I have it on the choir manual. So maybe a dialogue. Yeah, that's a nice idea. Now, building up from that, I need a bit more solo-y stuff. So this time, why not take, instead of the crumhorn on the second manual, why not take the trumpet, the tromba armonica, from the swell division, with, again, my 8 and 4-foot flutes to give it a bit of, and It gives it a nice sort of flavor there. So I could be playing, I don't know, something here now. And I've got it coupled to the pedal, so we could have... Don't know what that was. Well, we could have a sort of... dialogue in there, I suppose. And then, sort of continuing that, a bit of a fanfare. Which is always good fun. That's just the trumpet as it was there. Now I can add the full swell again. And now we're sort of building up to full organ here. This is where it gets really rather exciting. So I have my full swell after our fanfare thing. I've got it all coupled together. So here it is here with pretty much the sort of the main foundation stops of the choir division, or with the same thing 8, 4 and 2 on the great manual. So again, a nice big sound. Build up on that, add some mixtures. Build up on that, add some pedal reeds, add the trumpets on the great, and I've got the great mixture there as well. Now, this is where it starts getting to be some real fun. We're really building up the organ now. On the next one, I've got pretty much the same. I've added the cornet to the great. So it's not quite full organ, but we're getting there. But here's the fun thing. I've now added the tuba, this great big beefy reed. To the second manual. So I can use that as a solo on top of the great organ. And because it's so powerful, it cuts through. Now, on top of that, all I can really do is add the big guns for the great and the pedal, and now we've got full organ. Which is always a wonderful sound. Imagine what that's like on the real organ. We also have the 32-foot reed here, which unfortunately doesn't yet exist on the original organ in Italy, but here it is here. And of course, I still have the tuba to beef that up even further. How about that? So that's a bit of fun playing around with some registrations on the organ. Now then, let's improvise a piece of music live. Now, like I say, this has all been done in one take. First of all, it makes it easier for me to cut it all together later. And secondly, it's a little bit of practice for me because at the end of this week, that's Friday, on Friday evening, I'm going to do my first live stream from the organ here. At least I hope I am. No, I am. I'm going to do it. Even if it doesn't work technically, I'm going to do it. I promised you we would start doing the odd live stream concert. So on Friday evening, European time, haven't quite decided on a time yet. And let's put that over to you. At what time do you think on a Friday evening I should be posting a live stream? Now, bear in mind we have viewers from all around the world. So I'm guessing it's going to be sort of like, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night European time, 2100 hours European time, which means in the US it's sort of mid to late afternoon on Friday, and for any viewers over in the Asian part of the world, then it's going to be very early on Saturday morning for you. So, you know, I'm a night person. Maybe we'll do 10 o'clock at night. That makes it easier for people in the US or over in, let's say, so Eastern Asia or down in Australia. It makes it easier. So let me know what time you think I should do my live stream on Friday, and I will take that into account. Now, before we play our piece of music, don't forget, we are currently gathering funds, links below, for our latest CD project. Do I have my old CD there to show you? No, I don't. It's somewhere else. Fraser Gartshore's Organ Works, the new CD, and 10 lucky supporters get to have their own piece of organ music composed specially for them. Now, 3 people have already taken up that package, and they have pretty much all gotten in touch to say what they're looking for, and I will be getting in touch with them, of course, to let them know what's going on. And that's going to be rather exciting. One guy has sort of asked for something in the prog rock style, so a touch of the Rick Wakeman's, I suppose, at the organ. Another guy's gotten in touch to say he would like something on a Latin American style, which I think is rather cool. And the other guy has gotten in touch to say he wants something in a more romantic style. So there we are. So we've got a bit of classic, a bit of jazz, a bit of rock organ even going on there. That's going to be good fun. So yes, if you want to have your own piece of music composed by me for you for this CD, then do check out the links below to our Start Next crowdfunding project. And you can also pre-order your own copy of the CD there, a personalized signed copy just for you. Or if you're an organist or know an organist and you want to give them a gift of the CD and the sheet music that belongs to that, then you can also pre-order a copy of the music with the CD. All good fun. The quicker you get in there, the quicker we get it done. It's as simple as that. Right, let's make up a piece of music based around those registrations. And like I said, this is all live. There's no cut here at all. So all the mistakes, all the warts and all. Let's go. So the organ's set up. Number 1, let's go. Stick to E flat major, something in the Fats Waller style. live with all the electronic warts and all. See, doesn't always work out perfectly. So that is how I would go about setting up an organ to improvise something along those lines. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time for a bit more. Next time we'll be looking at a very, very different piece of music. A lot of you have asked about the 45,000 subscriber mark that's coming up, and I promised for that I would play Alain's Litanies. So that's coming up, but I'm also going to do a quick video on how you would go about learning and registering a piece of music like that. It's not everybody's cup of tea, so we're going to have a look at it in detail before we post it. The sooner we get to 45,000, the sooner I post the piece itself. But before that, I'm going to learn it with you. That's the idea. See you next time.